Welcome everyone, we are back with another spring showcase. Today we will be taking you through everything the teams have been building over the past spring. We got new art, new gameplay systems, technical improvements, animation, audio, and at least one bug that is making the technical team go crazy. But don't worry, we are working on it. So without further ado, let's jump right into the first showcase. Well, that was amazing! There are a ton of things to go through today, so we will be introducing the work of each of these teams individually. Each of one of them has been pushing the project forward in their own way. We'll be showing exactly what they've been working throughout this sprint, so let's begin with narrative. Sira, they are all yours.
Thank you. Stories don't simply happen. Memorable moments are created with a lot of planning, iteration, and countless revisions. Let's take a look at what the narrative team focused on this sprint. They adapted their work into our new vision. Due to the latest changes, there are some things that needed a complete rework. Narrative approached these changes with some brainstorming that quickly became our new yearly draft. After a month of discussion and 6 drafts, we were finally able to come up with the latest version of our story. Obviously, that came with a lot of changes due to the current Lord GDD, but rest assured, all of that is being updated by the writers constantly.
These updates continue building the emotional foundation of experience, while supporting the gameplay and work progression. But good story isn't measured by the amount of dialogue. It is measured by how much players remember after the game ends. Now let's see how our artists have been bringing this world to life. Let's hand it over to Selena.
Thanks, Sira. Stories are amazing, but let's be honest. If everything looked just like gray cubes, we will all be a little less excited. Luckily, our artists have breathtaking visual style. So let's take a look at what the 2D and 3D art team created for us this sprint.
A new workflow to improve speed and quality. Some creatures, like the turtle badger, mood for silhouettes explorations. We also have new concepts for the creatures that will populate the first region of the mall, just like the winged tusker. Some movement and attack patterns test, which will be really handy for our animation and game design team. Speaking of attacks, we finally have our fierce aggressive creature for the Spire Forest, the Belodon. In other news, the environment artists have been working without rest trying to give shape to our first level. Remember that as always, you can check our Discord forums for more details. Every sketch helps shape the visual identity of the game long before it reaches the engine. Meanwhile, the 3D team continues expanding our world with a new 3D model for the Crimson Beast. And with nothing else to add, the 2D and 3D art team are ready to begin this new spring, turning ideas into places you will eventually get to explore.
Thousands of polygons, hundreds of hours, and somehow still someone asks, can we change the chest? Can we change the arms?
Well, that definitely wasn't directed at anyone.
It absolutely was.
We have documented evidence.
I invoke my right to remain silent. Now, here's the team that somehow keeps all of us moving in the same direction. Honestly, I still don't know how they do it. Like, imagine trying to coordinate artists, programmers, designers, animators, and me.
Yeah, mostly him.
Okay, exactly. That's why production and game design exist. Production is the team making sure every department stays connected, every sprint stays on track. Honestly, they deserve more coffee than the rest of us. During the sprint production coordinator, sprint planning through open projects, task organizations for each team, milestone tracking, and cross-team communication. Their work keeps every department stays connected and every sprint keeps moving forward. Somehow, they keep meetings shorter than their explanations. Yeah. As for the game design team, they continue refining the player experience through
a completely new GDD that was created this same sprint and already has more than 90 pages of crucial information. Mechanics like run abilities for weapons and tools were designed, and the new status effects and combat mechanics are ready for us to start developing this next sprint. Now, when it comes to documentation, game designers are losing hair with every new document they need to develop each week. We hope that Alexandros, Kieran, and Morningstar are not bald by the time we finish with the game, because they made new files for the tech tree, the event manager, the ecosystem, the creatures and units, and there are plenty more documents created only this sprint, but if I mention them all, we will be here all day. And I'm not taking into consideration the 6 hours meetings we have each week.
Sometimes great design means adding something exciting, other times the best design decision might be just deleting the future, even if it hurts, especially when it hurts. Quick question, what's scarier? A monster or hitting absolutely nothing before the monster suddenly appears?
Why do I suddenly feel uncomfortable?
Congratulations, you have discovered audio design.
This spring, the audio team worked on
organization. There were plenty of records from the past sprints that needed to be way more organized. Thanks to them, all the assets are now easy to find with the new naming convention, including sound effects, because they created sound effects for axes, daggers, and swords, and finally, music. I'm so excited to tell you that the music you're hearing right now was created for our first region, the Spire Forest. Remember to also give your feedback or comments about it in our Music Corner channel in Discord.
Besides that, we also have some ambient audio assets that will be implemented for the next sprint, helping every action feel more immersive and every environment feel alive.
Now let's talk about the people responsible for making all of this actually work.
They're real heroes.
Careful, every department says they are the real heroes.
And of course, they are all correct. Well, art and gameplay are what players notice first. Technical development is what makes everything possible. Much of our work is invisible.
Until something breaks.
During this sprint, the technical team worked on almost 12 new systems, bug fixes and optimization that are already merged with the main branch or in testing phase. Now let's take a closer look to some of the new mechanics added, the crouching system and its respective menu working and ready to test. Our new quest log system so we can test how this feels inside the game. A resolution menu to give the player a more customized experience. The drawing and stowing weapon system, easy to adjust for all the new weapons and tools that we are working on. And at last but not least, our new 3 prototypes, procedural and interactable. These improvements may not always be visible, but they create a stronger foundation for future development. Now, let's switch to level design. Our level designing team continues shaping how players explore the world through new regions like the Spire Forest, which is our first region of the Burden Expanse level. And thanks to the recent changes on the GDD, level designers will be able to progress way quicker. Great level design quietly guides players without ever realizing they are being guided.
Ooh, magic!
Psychology.
Mostly interaction. Selena.
Gladly. Animation, where everyone spends 6 hours making something move naturally, so players never think about it.
That's totally accurate.
However, this sprint we will be a little bit different. The animation team has something special to show you. Most of you already know that creating 3D models take a lot of time, and our animation team depends heavily on them to create animations. So, with that in mind, we keep working on our usual task, but a side project started around a month ago.
First, some background. As you remember, the last spring we had an alpha test of the game, and we were able to play and feel the early stage of Mawforged. As I said, I'm so proud of what we made, but there was a little splinter that kept me awake the days after I played it. We spent almost 3 months to make things work perfectly, and believe me, I know how good it feels to see a 3D model like the ant perfectly looking inside the engine with its materials and its textures. I know how good it feels playing around with a really detailed and complex combat system. But I need to be completely honest, once I played it, it wasn't that exciting. Yeah, the ant was looking good and the combat was working, but the people who played it can tell you that fighting the ant wasn't an interesting experience. And we waited until the 3D model was finished to test that stuff, which shouldn't be a thing. We should be able to test things like combat and mechanics a lot before finishing the 3D models. Besides that, the rest of the world was empty. It didn't allow you to test anything else, even though things like the building system were actually ready by that point, we didn't include it. You weren't even able to cut down a tree. Right now, we are currently 3D modeling the Crimson Beast, and we haven't even tested how the attacks will look like, and we don't need perfect animations, we don't need the perfect 3D model to test that. Let's not repeat what happened to the ant, and let's start testing all the things we want to include, so we can notice if it needs to be included. So a few months ago, I had a conversation with the director and the team leads and proposed an idea. Use the amount of people we have to create the whole Burden Expanse and see how the game feels and what it needs. However, some of them gave me this answer. We don't have enough people. Which, yeah, I agree, we don't have the power and time of those big studios, but you cannot tell me we don't have enough people when there are games developed by just one person. Time passes and some of those people are no longer in the project, but I will say now the same thing I said back then. If we let that mindset dictate what we can or cannot do, then we might as well stop working right away. But we need actions, not just words. I knew I needed something to convince these people that we are capable of doing this and even more. So I started recruiting people who mentioned similar ideas to me in the past to check if they were willing to join me in this side quest. However, it needed to remain secret until we had something to showcase the team, so I set the end of the sprint as our deadline. However, it wouldn't be easy. It's not a secret that we've been creating assets and documents for the sake of creating them with a proper and cohesive direction or concepts for everyone to follow. Examples like the ant for the last sprint show us that we don't need completely detailed models in order to see if it will work in game. We should be able to test these things before we waste too much time on something we don't end up using. So that's why this last sprint I proposed a restructure of the whole game and the teams in order to fix this without discarding the work we've been doing for the past years. And it works. We managed to make it work. In order for us to create a good prototype, we needed a strong foundation for the game, and now we have it. Something that we know will test everything we've been discussing, from the regions to their mechanics and relationships, to all the creatures and ecosystems we have. And finally, to check if everything we've been talking about this spring actually works. Thanks to all the work we did this last spring, we finally have it. Allow me to present to you not only the Spire Forest, but the whole Verdan Expanse prototype. Welcome to Mawforged. What you are looking at is not only the Spire Forest, but the ancient grove, the plains, the singing stone paths, part of the sunlight glades, the geysers, the rivers and cascades that will eventually be on the game. All this landscape was created by Kirilo and me under 2 days once the regions were approved and thanks to Samira's concepts for them all. But this is not even all. Thanks to the animation team, we now have fauna to populate this world. As you can see, these are some of the creatures that will eventually be on the game. Ariel and Andra developed almost 10 3D models for creatures in the span of 3 weeks. 2 animations per creature, giving a total of 20 animations, 10 rigs in just 3 weeks. But these are not just decorations, no. Lorenzo, also known as Sakiro, was able to create a simple AI behavior in under a week for aquatic, terrestrial and aerial creatures. You could take a look at it and think, that's impressive to do under a month, but that's not all. I also asked Wasim and Constantine to help, cause I need an interactable world, and they made everything come to life. I noticed Wasim's building system was almost ready, so I created a whole set of buildings for him to play around, which helped us a lot finding bugs and new ways to approach the building. So yes, you are now able to build your own house in this prototype. Constantine helped develop a system to finally be able to chop down trees, and best part of it, it's modular. I only needed to create one tree and Constantine made infinite versions of it from all sizes and forms, so imagine once we have the official 3D models. We will have several different forests with several tree species for you to chop and use. As you can see, you are able to cut each individual piece, even the branches, to create more stuff with them. I also created some placeholders for the Asian groom concepts, as you can see, with their proper scale, and it feels amazing exploring around that area filled with giant trees. But wait, there's more! Wasim asked me if I needed more things for the prototype, and oh boy, of course I need them, so I gave him a list of things I needed, and he was not only able to create them, but also to create more than that. We now have a compass and a region perimeter so that once you enter a region it gives you the name of it, just like some games like Hollow Knight do. Of course there are bugs, but Saskia helped us solve some of them. And several new things I want you to find out once you play it. Cause yes, this branch is already open for everyone in the team to play around with it, so please go ahead, download it, play around with it, and give your feedback over it.
And that's everything we have accomplished during this past sprint.
Every sprint represents hundreds of hours of collaboration across every discipline. Progress is rarely made by one person, it's made by a team.
Every spring brings new ideas, new challenges, and plenty of coffee.
Mostly coffee.
We hope this gave you a better look behind the scenes of how every team contributes to the project.
And honestly, we are just getting started. There's still plenty more we cannot wait to show you. We hope you enjoyed the showcase.
And we will see you in the next sprint update.
See you next time.
See you next time.
See you next time.
Sí, todo el panorama, todo lo que se puede ver detrás. Ok, 3, 2, 1. Hi there, Mawforged team. As you can see, I'm here just taking a look at what we are going to do. So I'm so freaking glad to present to you one of the little wonderful pieces that we have here in my country. And yeah, I wanted to basically come here just to
creatures of my dreams raise up and dance with me.
already around there. We have something similar to what we want to do is near the Asian group. And that's the second lake, but we are not sure if we're going to add it. We still need to talk about that with Cheryl. And in this, you can see part over here. Now, the last point, I just want to thank you again, once again, and to apologize obviously for not being able to present to you this end of a sprint video and the last time we had to do the last of a sprint video, so I'm really sorry about that, but I just want to let you know and to share this with you all that it might sound a little weird, but yeah, I'm doing some physical research about what we want to do for the game. So it's really interesting. It's really interesting. Thank you so much once again for all your amazing work during this sprint, and I cannot wait to check what are we going to do in the next one. So see you in the next sprint. Bye bye.